Good day, students. I want to welcome all of you to this course. Once again, we are going to do treat topic 2 today. My name is Wamaka Ibeme. I am your facilitator in this course. In this topic, we will be treating the location and the functions of personnel management in organization. And then before we go further, we have our learning objectives, intended learning objectives. That is what we hope to achieve in this course. Now, at the end of this course, we'll be able to discuss the personnel management functions in organization. We'll also be able to draw an organizational chart indicating the location of personnel management in the organization. And then we'll be able to define what we call the line and staff concepts. A lot of people are so confused when you mention the line and staff. They will start asking, which one is line, which one is staff? Okay, even if they know that, they will not be, the next thing they'll be considering is which which of them is superior. This dichotomy, some people will say that staff is superior to line, some people will say that line is superior to staff. At the end of this lecture, you will see that all these things are not necessary. The dichotomy is not necessary because both of them are very important in the organization. Each will be doing its work without interfering to the other because both of them are very, very important in the organization. Now, let us look at the personnel management functions, first of all. If you look at your notes, you will see how it is captured vividly. But in this place now, let us look at the functions of the personnel management in the organization. In some organization, they call them human resource management. And the personnel management is actually restricted, but the human resource management is broad, all encompassing. Okay. Now, this course, I want it to be very, very interactive because personnel management function, we're dealing with human beings, and then we have these functions even in your homes. So I will want you to tell us, are you able to identify the functions of personnel management in your own home? Whether the father, where we have the father, we have the mother, we have the children, we have other generations, each of them doing different work. So you will tell us how you will use it to relate to the work of personnel management. And then you go to the workplace, the same thing. If you go to the village meetings, the same thing. You go to the church, the same thing. Even in your peer groups, then the institutions of learning like National Open University of Nigeria will really be able to identify the personnel management functions. Then will you be able to identify these personnel management functions in what we call organized setting? And what would you say that is that makes them organized? Okay. Now, will you be able to discuss the functions in each of these people in this organization, in the organized setting? Okay, if you are working, we want you to tell us in your own workplace what you like in the personnel management function and what you don't like, and what you want to be changed. Okay, now let us look at the main core issues of personnel management. So we see that they do recruiting. Recruitment, there's a lot of things that goes behind the scene in the recruitment. Now we do, before you start, you will do what we call audits, staff audits. The personnel manager or personnel section will do what they call staff audit to know the type of staff they want, the type of job they are coming to do, then the qualification that they want in that place. Now, having done that, they will now place advertisements. And when the people now apply, they will do what we call shortlisting, shortlist, and then call them for interview. And when they're there for the interview, we do what we call either, depending on what you choose, whether it is oral interview or both combined with written and oral. At the end of the day, you select the people that are qualified, having met all the criteria you set up initially, the one you set for that particular post. So you now give them what we call offer of employment, setting the conditions, the terms, the contractual agreements in that. Now, having brought those people, maybe they will accept. Some people may look at it and say they are not accepting, but those we are concerned with those that have accepted. They will come into the organization. We do what we call induction. I will take them round to the organization, explain to them this is this is that, this is that, indoctrinate them into the organization. And then having done that, they will start to work. Performance now coming. When they are performing, you'll be monitoring them to know whether they are fitting into the job description you have given to them when they come into the organization. And when they are doing this work, that's what we call performance appraisal. Be doing those performance appraisal, then to know whether they need training and the retraining. Okay, all these things we are going to do them in detail. Now we do the like a National Open University that is a research-based institution where deal with academic. They are going to be doing research and is during this performance appraisal that we find out the staff need. Okay, because when those staffs are well equipped, when they are well trained, they will be able to deliver to the optimal level. Okay, now when you go down, you see the having given them the training that they need, the research base or whatever, depending on the organization. You see the other one marked good, it can be bad, it can be good. You see the individual performing. And then you look at the next one, you see the brain working at its optimal level. Then you see the leadership carrying the flag, showing that they are delivering, showing that they are doing what they are supposed to do. They are meeting their goals because they have vibrant and very effective workforce in the organization. All these are what the human aspects of the organization does. Okay, now let us look at what we call the location of personnel management functions in the organization. Where are they located? Okay, are you able to say that this is that? Because at times you may not even know that this one, you say this one is personnel management function because everybody in the organization are performing one thing or the other, and then we are dealing with the human aspect of the organization. Then we will come to that. Now, the major thing that the personnel management function does is people management. Okay, remember the organization, they have set their policies, their goals, everything about them in place. But it's the human element that will manage all those things to help the organization to perform to their optimal level. Now we come to the other two, the HCM. What is it all about? Human capital management. We're still talking about the same thing. You go to the next level, you see the personnel management. What do? They are concerned with, as we said, obtaining the right caliber of people, organizing them and demotivating them in order to help them to actualize the goal that the organization is set out for. If you don't motivate the workers very well, they will not perform to their optimal level. And then the organization will suffer. Okay, so the human element, as they're trying to help the organization to achieve their goal, the organization, on the other hand, will still help the human elements to satisfy their personal need because each and every one of them they have a need. So as they are helping the organization will not neglect their own need because a dissatisfied worker will never perform to his or her own optimal level. Okay, so that is basically that. And then you see the other one, number four, that's HRM, human resource management. Here we see the strategic and coherent approach they give to the management. You know, it's a symbiotic relationship. It is them that go to the management. Most of them are placed at that principal level and that managerial level. They will carry that, go with the management because if they are not there with the management, they may not be able to know the goals and the aspirations of that organization. So they must be there at the roots, at the hem of affairs, and then they come and get everything, the policy, and then they start disseminating it to other level. We will get to all that as we go along this course. Okay, now let us look at what we call the line and staff concept. A lot of people are confused about this line and staff concepts. So, but at the end of this, we see that there's nothing to be worried about. Now, what is line and what is staff? Okay, how do you know them? I will just use a simple analogy to explain this one. The line managers, they are there to carry out the goal, the specific goal the organization is set out for. While the staff manager are there to support the line in achieving their goal. Now, if we say that the line manager is there, their major duty is to the policies and everything, they to see that all this in the organization is noted for are actualized, the revenue generators. Okay. Does it mean that those that are supporting them to actualize that are less important? No. Let me give you a scenario example. If you go to, okay, let us take the military as our example. If you go to the military, the soldiers there, I would say that the soldiers are the line managers because the soldiers are there to actualize the very reason or the very goal, the objective for which that military is set, which is to defend the nation, to combat the opponents, the enemies, and then to safeguard the nation in whatever way. As okay, if there's a war threatening a nation now, the military will be called in to go and wage that war. Okay, now when the military go to the war front at the battlefield, they're not going there alone. They are going there to fight, and they will be so focused in their fighting. Okay, now we have what we call the medics, so that if anybody, one of the soldiers or any of the soldiers are wounded, the medics are there to cater for them, nurse them back to health. If it is surgery or if it is whatever it is, they are there to do that function. Apart from that, we have the cooks, the people that will cook for them. You have the cleaners, you have the drivers, you have the engineers that will service the planes or ammunition or whatever. These are what we call staff as far as the military is concerned. While the soldiers, the army, they are the line managers. Okay, so you see, look at two of them, you see that two of them are very important in the organization. None is more important than the other because if you remove the medics, when a soldier is wounded, he will bleed to death. Or the wound will get infected and the rest of them, at the end of it, he will die. If the cooks are not there to give the soldiers food, you will see that they will be hungry. And the hungry man with empty stomach, what will the person do? Can withstand hunger for 1 or 2 days, but he will not withstand hunger for a week or two. So it's very important. If the drivers are not there to convey the ammunition, the whatever they will need, even the personnel to wherever they are going to meet their opponents, are they going to trek? Are they going to carry all their weapons and be marching for that place? So you see that if each one is very important in the organization, the line managers are very important in the organization, the staff are also very important in the organization. So they have this symbiotic relationship. Now, another analogy is National Open University of Nigeria. You see that the VC is a staff, is a line manager, sorry. And then all the academic staff are line managers as well, because they are doing that for which the organization is noted for, which is knowledge, impacting knowledge, research, knowledge, you understand, to the students. But that does not mean that the registry, the personnel staff there are not important. Because check the work they are doing and you see that they are very relevant. The drivers are doing their work, the security personnel are doing their work, the personnel managers and the rest of them, all of them are staff. They are doing their work. Now take out the bursary. They are staff. If you take out the bursary, you will see what will happen in this institution. Everything will be granted without money. So you will not say because they are not academic staff that they are not important. They are not line managers, they are not important. So this dichotomy, you have seen that it is actually baseless. The most important thing is that each and every one of them are doing the work that they are supposed to do in organization so that the organization will forge ahead. Okay, now let us look at personnel manager, personnel management. We have what we call central personnel agency. Okay, in the central personnel agency, it is central. Let me just take the Nigerian Civil Service as an example. You look at the Nigerian Civil Service, you see that we have the centralized agency taking care of the personnel in all the organizations and parastatal. We call them centralized. They are central personnel agency. They deal with recruitment, all these things, the staff need, the staff welfare, everything. And then they will start, when they recruit, they will start placing them in the organization of parastatals where they belong. And they will have a unified system, a unified criteria. For this level, they are supposed to be pay so and so. For this level, I suppose, so that it will not be arbitrarily done. Those in the Ministry of Finance will be earning this one. Those in the Ministry of Communication will be earning a different thing. No, everything is unified and decentralized. But when they get all these people, they will now go into what we call operational personnel. Because when they bring them from the centralized place, they go to the Ministry of Parastatals, they still have their operational personnel office. These people, they provide assistance, advice, and assistance on personnel matters to departments, okay, without undermining the unity of command. Okay, so in each organization, in each parastatal, in each ministry, they still have their own personnel department. And this is how the whole thing will be disseminated to the down to the last level. Because even if, like in National Open University of Nigeria, even though we have centralized personnel, the registry, we see in each faculty, you still see those people that they send down, they will still be performing their personnel function in their faculty, but answerable to the overall head. And so it is with the centralized personnel management. Now, let us recap what we have learned in this lecture. I want to believe that if I call on you now, you'll be able to tell me what you have learned. But let us, as a way of recapping, we have seen the personnel management very vital in the organization, but we basically see the line hierarchy, the line and staff. We know who is, now by now, and I'm sure you might have known who is line manager, we have known who is staff manager, and then you see that there's no need for this dichotomy or claiming of superiority or inferiority complex among them, because each and every one of them are doing their work for which they are called to do. And each and every one of them are very important in the organization, without which the other one may not exist, without which the other one may not perform optimally. Okay, now we have come to the end of this class, and then I want you to watch out for more exciting activities for this class, and then we prepare for the next class. Yeah, we see announcement forum. If you go to announcement forum, you see all the announcement that will be there. You see discussion forum. I have posted questions for you that are going to discuss. Okay, it is going to be based on 250 words that you are going to write and post it there. I'll grade it, and then later we all assemble and talk about it. You have the quiz, tell a number, you do the quiz. And let me tell you one exciting thing. There will be prize for the most active participants in this course. Those that are very, very active and participate actively by doing their discussions, doing their quizzes, there will be prize at the end of the day for you, just to encourage you. So at this junction, I will want to end this course and enjoy you to please listen to the video, read their lesson notes, and attempt the quizzes and discussion forums. Until we meet again next week, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for listening. And so on these notes, I have to say bye.